Well guys, I am back to Mad Games Tycoon 2. However, instead of doing my roleplay series that I've been doing, I decided I'm going to do a tutorial somewhat on how to play the game. At least how I play, because under normal difficulty this game is pretty damn easy to the point where I do like random sliders to change stuff around and trying to do stronger competition, I mean to say, and all that. So I decided, since I know a bunch of buddies of mine play the game, and some of them struggle and I haven't played yet, I decided to try and do a tutorial on how I play, and hopefully it helps out everyone else who's trying to get into the game. Alright, so anyways, start off with doing a new game. Let's wait for it to load up. So anyways, when you start a new game, up here is the name of your studio. I'm just going to call this Test Studios. And this randomizes it and all that. This is where you pick a logo in the game, be it not stereotype, parodies of real life logos, and then just generic logos and such. I'll pick a generic one. So this determines where your country is based. It doesn't seem to matter where you start off as, other than maybe some of the developers' names being of that country and all that. But otherwise, it has no impact whatsoever. Now, this one actually does have some impact. A special genre. So, under special genre, this is the main genre of yours. Which means this genre will have a 3% boost of reviews in your game. So whatever this genre is, your games will have a 3% bonus of what they otherwise would be. And your fans will never be bored of those games. Which means is, if you make, in a span of 5 recent games, if you made 3 of them of the same genre of the last 5, that's not your main one, your fans will be bored and you will suffer a 50% sales penalty on all your games at the moment. So you never ever make games of 3 of the same genre of your most recent 5 games, unless it's your main one. They will never be bored ever. So keep that in mind. And I think I'll just keep my main one right now, Econ Sim. It really shouldn't matter either way. I always just play the one, my main favorite genre of real life. So we're going to do medium difficulty. Basically, the higher the difficulty, the more points you need for your games to be good, to please the reviewers and such. And year date, it just, I only played in the farthest back year, 1976. I haven't really tried out anything otherwise, so I don't know what to say about that. The number of competitors, like different CPU developers. I always said the game to never have them close and all that. Had more competition. Now the competition, this one I'm not fully exactly sure what it is yet, although I have somewhat of an idea. And I'm going to do it on normal difficulty. So basically, with higher competition, your games, if there's more games on the market of a genre and stuff, they will become saturated. And when they're saturated, no people will less want to play those games. So therefore, they won't buy your games. So you'll make less money and such. Even if you do good, like have like a really good game, if the market's saturated, people won't buy them. But I'll get to that a little bit later. And then development time, this changes the speed of how it takes to develop a game. I always just do standard. Random events, there's random events throughout the game, be it good or very bad. I keep them standard. And then the game speed, I always do it on normal. I used to do very fast, but now I do normal. The faster the game is, the faster the time goes. So stuff will go by very quickly on very fast, whereas Marathon, it could take you like up to 30 seconds or more to finish a week in the game. And adjust working speed means the workers will update their speed of making stuff based on the speed of the game. So like, for example, if I do that with Marathon, these guys will take forever to update their stuff. But if I turn it off, they will make stuff at normal speed on Marathon speed, so it means you'll make a whole bunch of stuff very quickly by Marathon speed standards. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep that as such. It doesn't matter on normal. Alright, so then after that, you make your character. You can change like your looks and color and such, your sex. And of course, here's our perks. As the developer, as the owner, you get 4 perks. You get this one by default, you can't remove it. And that's being a CEO, which means you never lose motivation, which is a skill. A motive, there we go. Kind of like how it would be explained on Sims. you can have up to 4 perks, and they each do different things. The main one I do is Star Designer, although I might change that because I'm not really a developer much. But with this, my games will get an extra boost up to 50 hype as long as I'm the developer, one of the developers of the game. Then it's Inexhaustible, which means I never need to take breaks and be tired. Then there's Leadership, which means I will get a boost to all my employees if I'm the lead developer. And this is probably the best one, All-Rounder, which will increase your abilities, increase the height of, your limit, how much points you can have with all your professions. So then your profession, like I'm set to game designer, so my main focus is going to be game designer, and you get a bunch of skill points to start with the game, and then you can set them to certain skill and such. Like if I change the programmer, now all of a sudden programmer is going to be the unlimited one, but otherwise now game design's capped. And if I turn off all-rounder, see, now I can only go up to like maybe 40 or so, but with all-rounder I can go up a little bit higher, so it makes myself a little bit better instead of being capped, basically. So there are different types of perks, but I would say definitely, no matter what, all-rounder is the absolute requirement. It's like OP. Alright, so I'm just going to play as myself. So here we go. Alright. Now, I think I'll play actually on the default map, so I can explain buying stuff, meaning buying properties, because I don't really do it anymore. So anyways, these are different maps and all that. If you want the most space, do this one, Giant Warehouse. And you don't have to buy any property or whatever, so it makes it easier. But I'm going to stick with this one because I can explain buying stuff. Alright. So anyways, I'm not going to touch any of these modifiers. I'm going to do a normal game and all that. But anyways, the modifiers, increase random factor with this. This means your games, normally your games, when they're reviewed, there is a random number of -7 to +7 your score will be changed by. It'll have like a default score, and then it'll change somewhere between +7 to -7. With this maxed out, the game will be 12% spread. So the game you make could be 12% higher than expected or 12% lower than it would otherwise. And then there's random platform popularity. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but I think it will just make games, consoles sell better or sell worse than they did in real life. But I'm not exactly sure what this low or high thing is. Random platform popularity increases. Oh yeah, with this, if a console does better than it did in real life, with this it will stay on the market longer. This will randomize the game concept set in, so the sliders will be different. The genre combination will be different with this. The suitability of platforms will be different with this. And I'm not exactly sure what this is because I've only done subsidiaries one time, so I'm not exactly sure on that one. Alright, like I said, I'm just going to do default settings. Alright, here we go. Now, this is going to be a little different if all of you play on, like, the big map. But, anyways, pause. I don't need a tutorial. I know how to play. So, on this default map, you could sell your sports car. It gives you an extra $20,000. But the first thing you do is you go to the bank and you take out the maximum loan. You start off with $500,000, and you can do this to get... So now I have $720,000. Alright, and also, I would suggest saving, because this game, for some people, seems to crash a lot. It doesn't do it for me, but just be safe. And there's also an auto-save feature. Alright. So next up, development room. I always do... normally I start off with like 4x4, but I've noticed a trend where if I don't make them big enough, they don't seem to go well. So go fast enough. So I'm going to do this, max out to 10. It needs to be at least 3x3 a million, but you should probably start off with this, and you put it on a door, and this will how much it costs. This means this room will support up to 10 people before getting overcrowded. So yeah, put myself down right here. That's what you gotta do when you hire someone. You have to drop them in the room for them to be employed here, like I am now. So this means this room can have up to 10 people before being overcrowded, and of course I'm the only one in here. So then you go down here, job market to hire people, which right now I only have 3 people I can hire. This determines, this is their, this is what I'm hiring them. No, this is their main skill. This person right here is a game designer like me, but I'm hiring them as a game tester, which I could change up here. And this is their skill, like this guy. is very good at researching, almost 40 points. And this one's good program, this one's a good game designer. This is their perks, which if they're bad, they'll be in red. Like this person never freezes and doesn't complain about being in crowded offices and such. And it's how much they paid every month. So yeah, I select them all higher and drop them in. So now I have 4 people. But we're not done yet. We now have to have a research room, which is needed to research stuff. I'm trying to be as like cheap as possible in terms of room, because I haven't played on this map in a long time. This was like the very first map you start off in the game with, but now I do the other one. So now research room, you use it to research stuff, which I'll get to in a little bit. Now, 2 things you're going to also need to start the game. You're going to need a lounge room, because your employees will be like tired and bored, and they're going to want to relax and all that, so they'll come in here and do stuff in here. So have that, and also, of course, you need to have a bathroom. Right? And, of course, they got to take care of their business, and they'll go in here really quickly. Alright, I think I can make this one a little bit bigger. Use up the last remaining room. Yep, you can redesign from right there, and there we go. Alright, so now that I've done all that, now we got to make a game. So first up here, okay, here, like right down here, here's your money. This tells you how much money you have. This is how many fans you have. The more fans you have, the more your games will sell. So you want to get as many fans as possible. Here's the date and all that. Here's where you pause and speed up and all that. Now, right here, here's where a bunch of the effects come in. This tells you how many contract games you can make. Oh wait, no, this one tells you how many contract games you can make. This is commission works, which is a side job you can do to make money, which I'll get to in a little bit. And right now, here's one of the current effects. Right now, it's Christmas period, so from December till February, so 4 weeks, 2 months, December, January, it's the Christmas period. So during this time, all games and consoles sell 50% more. So if you want to get a real big boost, make your stuff like around this time. But likewise, during the summer of June and July, games sell 50% less. So don't try and make stuff in the summer, because you'll have to deal with the penalty then. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Up here, this is your reputation with clients. The more like contract games you make and commission work, this will go up to 100% over time. And when the higher it goes, the more lucrative contracts you'll get. So you'll make even more money and stuff. Now, this is your rating. 5 stars. The higher your rating is, the more likely you're going to hire legendary people, which means people with very good skills. Now, here are the trends currently, which change every like year or so. So the current trend right now is games that are racing involving motorcycles, and the worst one is puzzles involving tennis. So if you are in a pinch and don't know what to make, you could try to do what up here is. So the big thing right now is racing with motorcycles, worst thing is tennis and puzzles. That doesn't mean you have to follow it. You can ignore it if you want. You'll probably do fine. But if you're not sure what to do, you can always try looking up here. Although, like I said, it's not necessarily the best thing to do. And this right here is your motivation of your employees. If it gets too low, they will quit. And trust me, I've had many times where I've had mass firing, spamming every week. It's really irritating when it pauses the game. So try to keep it up as high as possible by having all this room and stuff. So anyways, when you make your game, we're going to go make a game. So you go here, you go to develop a game, right here, and then we pick a genre, which you start off with one genre of the 4, which is racing, adventure, skill, and puzzle. Unfortunately, I got adventure, which is the worst one to start off with, I believe, in terms of stats. And you get 3 random topics, which is portals, food, and special forces. Now, special forces right here, it says 16. It's for, I believe, this is like the violent rating, if you want to get the slides correct. I'm not fully 100% sure on that. But right now, I'll go with just food. This is the target group. Children, teens, adults, seniors, and all. You want to get the sliders correct on this, but you have to find out over time. Unless you look up the Steam guide, it'll tell you what the things are. But I don't know about adventure. I just go random usually. I'll do kid, and I'll go food fight. And this is the standard game, which you can't do any of these guys for like the 90s and the 2000s. So there's nothing you can do there. And this is the game size. the bigger the game size is, it'll cost more, but it'll have more features and all that. And eventually you're going to want to do that. And the stars here rank the experience. Almost everything here has experience with stars. As you do this stuff, you'll gain a star for each time you do this thing, till it gets maxed out at 5. Now, later on, when it's a feature for a game, when you get more stars, it'll cost less and such. Alright, so now the next page, this is the engine room, where you add engines and such. But right now, we can't do it at the start of the game, so there's nothing we can do about that. This is where we pick the console we want. But right now, we can only do one console, so to save costs, I do exclusive games, which means you only make a game for one console. Tapple 1, and the Fairtech CF are the current console right now. So right now, the Tapple 1 has 1.9 million users, whereas the other one has 200,000. Always go with the one that has the highest, the most active users. That means they'll be more likely to buy your game. If you make a game on a console with few users, your sales will really suffer. Always go with the highest one by default. And then, this right here is the technology level of the console. If it goes up to 9, I think, and what matters is the engine. If you have an engine that's too powerful, you can't use it on this console unless you pick a different console or lower the settings of the engine. But right now, it doesn't matter at the moment. And here's the current engine features. Like I said, you can change it if you need to. And here's the language thing. You can pick the language if you want. Always set to be all the languages. That way people don't complain. And you can't do any of this stuff at the beginning of the game, but anti-cheat software and copy protection, it says right here. Oh, it's not going to tell you exactly. Yeah, copy protection means you'll sell more games. But it doesn't say what the anti-cheat does. But it probably just makes people happy and stuff like that. Always just do the copy protection and the anti-cheat by no matter what. Alright. So now, here's like the main focus of making games correct. The point setup. Each genre has a specific point, means design focus, design direction, design priority. You want to get these slides correct on every single thing as soon as possible, and that way your games will do very well. Now, I don't know the setup for adventure, so what I usually do is just wing it or just mess around with the sliders at any random thing. Oh yeah, and when you mess with the sliders, you notice like right here for design focus, you get free. I got free points right now. You have to max them all out, however you can't go over. This number has to be 0. So you just mess around with this thing till you got a combination of exact 0 on this thing. You can't have none around, none left or too many. Now, design direction, however, this does not matter. So we'll leave that there for right now. Now, design priority, this is also very important because you want it to line up with the points you're getting. So, if I remember correctly, I'm going off the top of my head because I'm not sure about this. This might be incorrect, but I think for adventure, because this doesn't change on random, I think adventure is 50, 10, 10, 30. Don't quote me on that though, because that might be incorrect until I check out later out in the future. But yeah, you can mess with these sliders and all that, but it has to be 100% right here too. You can't be under or over. Alright, so then right here, these are the features. You have to add features to make the game. It'll make the game more expensive, and as you get more experience, it'll cost less, but it'll add more points to the game, which overall makes it better. I can add 10 features with the current B-size game. But if I make the game bigger, I can add more stuff and such. And this means, and this like orange, this yellow and red dots, that indicates the compatibility with the feature. So for example, like keyboard support and control support is just neutral with adventures. It doesn't add anything better, but pause function is bad. So it adds like nothing to the strategy. It's add nothing to strategy whatsoever if you make it. So if anything, you could probably take it out and save a couple $1,000 because it doesn't add anything. But I always do it by default and all that. But you could do it to save money potentially. And if it's really good compatibility, it'll be green and it will make a killing. Oh yeah, and like I said earlier about the genres, adventure is the worst at the start of the game. Racing is next afterwards. Puzzle is medium. Like neutral, solid. Skill is the best one to start, because skill has like great compatibility with all these things, which I think kind of sucks. Cause I mean, skill is gonna be too OP to start off with. So that's why you should try to get skill as quickly as possible. All right, and this stuff, this is DLC basically in the game. You can't do this stuff like later on in the 90s and 2000s, but if you do this, you can enable them. It'll make your game. It'll sell. Make you sell some. Get you some money. But your fans will be very unhappy if you do that. Although I don't know how much it really affects, though. And this is finance in the game. Always leave this as default. Don't ever touch this. Always leave this there, or else your game will suffer very badly. I have never, ever touched this once until I just did this test right here. You can save money, but it will negatively impact your game, but I have no idea how. But otherwise, don't touch it. Just leave it there. Alright, here we go. So yeah, now we can unpause. As I speed up, so the workers will just go to their computers and start making the game. You want to wait for this to get to 100%. You see, there's the skill, on points for the game. The more points, the better. And these are bugs. As you make the game, there will be bugs and all that. And eventually, they'll get rid of them, which I'll get to in a moment. Alright, but here we go. The game is done now. We can release it if we want, but it has a shit ton of bugs, and it has a terrible score. So, has 24 bugs, so what you do is, you continue development to get rid of the bugs. So right now, the game costs $35,000 to make, and the current score is estimated between 20 to 40%, which is terrible. So we're going to keep developing right now. I wish they turned that off. It used to never show, but now it does. Infinite. Alright, so let's see if I can hire some more people to speed it up. You want at least like 7 people in your development room to start off with. It gives you a nice boost of speed, and the more people there is, I think there's a chance it gives you more money. So anyways, when you're doing development at this point, no, it's polishing. They're polishing the game because the main stuff's done. They're going to slowly get rid of the bugs, and they're going to add just a little bit of points to the game as time goes on. But the main stuff's already done. But don't release a game with any bugs. If there's bugs, let the game finish getting rid of them. See, now my score, instead of being 20-40, is now 30 to 50. And also, I didn't mention it, this heart right here is the hype. They can go up to 200 technically if you do a certain thing, but the max can go otherwise is 100. The more hype your game is, the more fans it'll get, the more it'll stay on the market longer, the more money it'll make. So you want to try and get this maxed out as high as possible, but right now you can't do that. So yeah, there's nothing else to do, so search publisher. You search for a publisher, they will sell the game. Like, you're the developer, they're the publisher. They'll publish the game. And like right here, Epicware, you'll make $12 for each copy they sell, and the market strength determines how well the game will sell. That's how much you make, this how well it will sell. So the meta is you focus on the highest market strength first before you worry about the payment. So this middle might make you more money, but this one will more likely sell your games better. So prioritize these guys. And these hearts represent relationship. If you make a game with a publisher, they will like you more. If you max it out, they'll give you a publisher contract, which I might get to in a little bit. But yeah, and also this is the main genre they are. This one likes adventure, so adventure will go really well with you. So pick that, and there we go. The game's released. You gain your experience in all the stuff. This one I don't really pay attention to much, but this actually could be pretty important for like focusing on oversaturation, which something I probably should focus on when I play my games off screen, but I don't really pay attention. But this could be really important. This is your game rating, although I don't know how much it matters though, so I'm not sure. I just ignore it. And then finally the main one, your game score, which I got a 44%, which is terrible. So anyways, I got a 68 from gameplay, 46 from graphics, 41 from sound, and 55% from control. That's a terrible game, but it is adventure, so I'm not surprised. So pause for a moment. Up here, this is where your games currently that are out in the market show up right here. So I'm going to unpause for a moment because every week it changes. Alright, here we go. So right now, the game, of course I can't point on it, the top number right there where it says 295, that's how many copies the game has sold in total, and the bottom number is how many it sold that week. So overall, it sold 295 copies, and that's how much money I made so far. So far, I've lost $52,000 at the moment. That's how much hype it has, and that's how long it's been on the market. That's the weekly chart, because right now it's #1 in the market right now, because it's the only game available. That's the fan review. So right now, 2 people liked it, 3 people hated it, and that's the IP. It goes up to 5. The higher the IP, the better it'll sell too, in terms of other things. But that's usually if you have like series and such. So then, what I do is after a game, because I'm gonna max out this stuff right here. Oh yeah, like I said, let me negate that. Try to prioritize for development rooms. You want to try and get game designers and programmers. Those are the priority. But when you're at the start of the game, when you have no one available, you have like open slots and you can't like get good people, you just sign. You can sign whoever, hire whoever you want, just put them in for right now. But prioritize eventually. You want to try to get developers, programmers in the development room. They do the best. And they're overcrowded, so they're going to not do as well. But hey, nothing I can do about it right now. Although I could potentially expand a little bit. Because I need to do some other things too to explain. Oh, wow. It sold. Oh, wow. That was a dick move. Wow. It sold the stuff. That's bad. That was BS. Alright, I can have 3 more people right now. Alright, but now I'm going to go one more week because I want to show something. Right. Alright, so another week went by. So now the game sold 535 copies the most recent week. So now it's sold 830 in total. That's still not very good. So then, here's what I do after each new game. What I do is, I go update the game. So, with update, it'll cost money, but when you do this, you can max this out so it'll add new features to the game, which will add an extra like 4% of each category. You can maximize getting rid of bugs, but if you got rid of all the bugs at the start of the game, what was being made like I did, this should not matter. And this is where you can add extra languages, but like if you do what I do, and already have all the language selected, this doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this one right here. So you max this out, and then it costs $5,000 to make the update, and there you go. So when you update a game, it'll make it better. More people might buy the game more, and such. It'll make it last a little bit longer. However, I usually do one time, and that's it. Higher difficulties, I might try a little bit more. Now, it might not work out well right here. So now the next week, it made even more copies sold. 679 copies sold. So now it's sold almost 1,600. But usually most cases when you sell a game, it sells, the first few weeks it'll sell very good, like increase, but after that it'll start slowly going down over time, with only boosts from like updates or other things continuing on. And eventually when it sells nothing, it'll be automatically taken off the market in most cases. You can take it off later on. I think you could probably take them off right... Oh no, you can't take them off right now. But later on you could, but I'll have to explain stuff over time. I might have to make this into like an actual series, because there's a lot of stuff to explain that I don't think I could do in one video, especially at 2:30 in the morning. So anyways, after I make a game, I then go to commission work. So anyways, short assignments. This is where, like I said earlier about up here, this short assignment, when you do a commission work, they will take the job and you have to finish it within 8 weeks. And if you do it in 8 weeks, you will get $25,000. But if you don't get done in time and cancel it, you'll have to pay like $3,000 and stuff. So you want to do these as much as you can when you get them, because they'll give you free cash. And the higher your reputation is, the more of these you'll get, the more money you'll get. But however, it'll also take a long time too, so you want to be careful. So we're going to take that automatically. Alright, let them do their work. And there I go, I made $24,000 just from that. Alright, so now I'm going to explain research. Don't do what I'm about to do, because this is not smart, but I'm going to hire researchers. Do not do this. If you want to save money, just drag people in from your other room and put them in here. But I'm just going to put them in here right now to explain stuff. So, research room, this is where you research stuff, like genres. You can unlock genres right here, like the main 3 to start off with, which I'll probably focus on a little bit. Then there's topics. There are 300 topics in the game. You can use these, unlock these to unlock new topics for games you want to make. Engine features, this is where you can get engine features to make engine and all that, but you can't do it yet. Gameplay features, this is one I prioritize right now. This will allow you to add more features to the game, which will make it better. So I'm going to do that, but not yet, because I want to explain all the stuff. Hardware, this is if you unlock console creation, It'll allow you to research features and stuff to your console to make them better. Console features, same thing, add-ons to a console, but I can't show it right now. Miscellaneous, oh my god, there's so much to explain here. I'll wait for a moment. Automatic research, this is where you can just research stuff automatically at stuff you pick. I don't touch this, so don't bother. And the support room, because I don't think I showed it right here. I might go back to that room in a little bit. The research support room is, if you have another research room, you can use this, drag it over to another research room, and they'll help do whatever that research room is doing and such. Alright, so then finally miscellaneous. This stuff does different things depending on what you're researching. These are like different rooms and stuff. So anyways, I'll start off with the easier ones. Subgenre, this allows you to add a second genre to your games. Subtopic, this allows you to add a second topic to your games. B+, this is the size of your game and such. B+, A, AA, AAA, quadruple A, and all that. It just allows you to add more features in the game. When you have too many features that you can't add them on, all of them on, I would say go for the next game size and all that, pretty much. Console development. This is the most expensive thing you can research. It costs $10 million. But when you unlock this, it will unlock the console development room so you can make consoles, home consoles and handhelds and such. And it allows you to do the hardware and console feature stuff I was just mentioning. Then there's the graphics studio room. You need this to make your game's graphics look better. And then there's quality assurance, which will help make your game's game points better. They also remove bugs faster, and they also do game reports, which will research the game to find out what you did right and wrong, and they'll try and help you find the correct slides and all that. So yeah, that's probably like one of the first rooms you want to prioritize really quickly. Sound Studio, they make your games have better sound points. And then, okay, go back up here. Next is marketing. This is a powerful one too. Marketing. With marketing, you can use it to increase your hype of your video games and stuff and your consoles by promoting them. They also do very special market ideas, which if I build them in the future, I'll explain to you because they're really powerful. And they can do market analytics, which will help determine what's the next like big trendsetters that are going to come up in a year or so, although I usually don't bother with them. And finally, they can look up employees for you. It'll cost quite a bit of money, but they'll freely look up really good people if you have the correct setup properly. So you can automatically just like start firing people and replace them and stuff for better people. Production room, this is if you make games on your own, not have a publisher and such. You'll make physical copies yourself, which is something you could do in the future, but it's the second most expensive thing. And then there's support room. Support room, as you get more fans, they'll have questions they want you to answer them and reply, like customer support. You use this to fulfill their needs, although most of the times I haven't been lately needing it, so it's not that important. However, there's one thing that does that's really good. You can use a support room to create like fan stuff. Like you can spend $200,000 to do a convention, and do the convention will get you 2,000 fans just like that. So that's the main thing you do support room from, to get like conventions to get a whole bunch of fans. Training room. This will allow you to train your employees to make them better and such. Usually I don't bother with it though. It's usually better just replace them with the marketing room. And finally, workshop. With the workshop room, you can make arcade cabinets. Make your own games as arcades, or make arcade commissions and all that. But right now, I'm going to focus on getting extra gameplay. So now they're going to research that. And also, yeah, develop a game. Some of the stuff I can't explain, well, I'll get to in a little bit. This is where you develop an engine, but we can't do it yet. I already did update. Oh yeah, a final thing too is add-on. With an add-on, a paid add-on, it's kind of like an expansion pack or DLC game. It'll make like a expansion for this game. It'll make the game like I just did recently and have to get rid of bugs on it, and you can sell it to make money, which maybe I'll do that right now to explain it. So with this add-on, you can rename it to whatever you want. I don't know what the standalone add-on is. This is a new thing for me. Okay, that's a new thing. I I never saw that before. I'm just going to leave it as such for right now. But anyways, it's just like the update feature. You just pick all this and make it. Yep, we're going to go do that really quickly. So we're going to make the new add-on, as it's already done. Yeah, it goes a lot quicker, but first get rid of the bugs. Now it's doing 40-60%. So let's release that and get more experience. Yeah, it got 50%, which is better, but still not really that good. So now we'll see how it sells. Yeah, the food fight sold worse, and add-on sold 364 copies to start off. Oh, here's some commission work. Let me go do that one again as well, as the researchers are done as well. Alright, so now... Oh yeah, another thing too, contract games. To do a contract game, you need to have the game size, the genre, and the console particularly they want to do. That's why I can't do these, because I don't have skill, but these ones I can do because I have adventure. So anyways, what this means is, like this one, they want to make an adventure game on this console that's B score. And if you pick it, they'll give you $11,600 up front. And then, if you make the game within 39 weeks, and as long as it has a minimum score of 5%, when you release it, they will give you $38,000 for it. So this is another good way to get your cash, and get some money, get some experience, and also, it'll increase your rating up here, your reputation very quickly, better than the commission work. So this is a good way to get your thing up really quickly, because the higher game size you have and more reputation you can get, you could do really, really big commission games, and you can make like millions of dollars off of them. So I'll do this right now to explain it. I'm just gonna do food again. I'll just keep it as such, because I'm gonna explain that a little bit. And by the way, this has what I'm doing has zero impact on the free game rule. This is completely separate, so you have nothing to worry about. Alright, so there you go. I got $11,000 to start off with. Now to go make the game. This commission. This is... Sometimes the game will have random pop-ups. This means my current game I'm making got 10 extra sound points, which is good. Alright, of course, get rid of all the bugs. Although, it doesn't really matter as long as the requirement's 5%. That's, like, terrible. Like, you have to be, like, on purpose bad to do that. Or on the highest difficulty. But I'm just going to do this, get rid of the bugs, because I like to do that. But anyways, both my games have now made money. Food Fight is starting to sell terribly. I'm sure in a few weeks I'm going to have to make something new to replace it. My general rule in this game is have at least 3 games out at once. That's how I usually go it. It'll be a good way to make money and such. Alright, Demon Hunter story, which is now 50-70%. Gonna hand it over. There you go, got all that. Yep, it got 62%. And I made $50,000 off of it. And although it says I lost $14,000, I don't listen to this because I've seen it being incorrect though. Like, this is more like upfront costs. So, and this is like what you get afterwards. So I made money out of it. I made $50,000. And my rating really went up too, my reputation. Alright. So now, I'm going to go make my next game. Oh, we'll go do some commission work really quickly. Oh yeah, and also while I wait, I'm going to go now research my new thing. I'm going to get skill because that's, like I said, the big one. And I'm going to end automation so I don't research other things accidentally. Although, I might wait and explain something else before I do the skill game coming up. Because there's another thing, one more thing I want to tell you all about before we do that. Alright, so we're going to develop a game. So I didn't explain any of this yet. So this is where you make your new PC or console game. If you want to make a mobile game, you go here. If you want to make an arcade game, you go here. This is where you can make sequels. However, you have to get at least 70% on a game to unlock it. And when you make a sequel, it'll get a really big boost of hype to start off with, so you don't have to really do marketing as much. It'll have a higher IP score, and fans will be more willing to buy a game when it's a sequel or something. Spin-off. I haven't really done a spin-off. Yeah, I haven't done spin-off much, so I'm not exactly sure how it really works. Remaster is a remake of a game. You can't update like almost any of the sliders, so it's more of just like putting new features on it to make it better. I usually use it as a way to make like a sequel or a remake of a game that doesn't matter much to me, instead of doing like sequels. And porting a game, this will allow you to port over to a different console and stuff. But like I said though, I don't really do it much, so that's like something you can mostly ignore. Alright, but anyway, we're going to make a new game, and I'm going to make an adventure, and after this, I can't make an adventure, like you see right here, this is the main genre, it goes right to left. Once I make a second adventure, these two event spots are going to be filled with adventure. I cannot do any other adventure on here if there's two up here, otherwise they're going to get the board penalty like I told you about earlier. Same for skill, after 2 skills in a row, I'm not going to be able to do either one of these, so I'm going to have to get a new thing done. Oh yeah, and another thing too is, now I can tell you about saturation. So like you see, adventure right here is green on this bar, and skill is yellow. That means the market saturation. Green is good. That means there's very little of adventure games in the market. So that means video gamers will probably buy it more likely now because there's no demand being met. Now, skill game is neutral, so it's not going to get any bonuses whatsoever. But if we keep building a whole bunch of skill games, it'll go into red, which will mean it'll be saturated, and your games won't sell as well if it's in the red. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at target group. Now, okay, nothing's wrong. I think I did kids last time. I'll try teenagers. Because if you get the sliders correct, the text not will, no, not the text, the background will be like in green. If you get it wrong, it'll be in red. You want to get as much green as possible. I'll do portals this time, because I'm already saturated with food. And like I said, I can't do engine yet. And also, you can buy development kits down here, so you can make new consoles, but right now, there's nothing at the moment to do. Alright. Now, here's one thing you do. This is what I usually do. When I make a new game, I go to Game Concepts, which allows me to copy the slides from a previous game, which I'll just do the add-on. So this is the exact setup I did for Food Fight. You then go to Game Analyst. You can't do it right now because I don't have the quality assurance room unlocked. But once you get it unlocked, you go here to get your slides correct. So right now the only option is to read letters from fans, and they'll tell you what they think about the game. So right now, the first thing is they want better level design. So you slide this up. Sometimes people say 1 or 2. I usually just do 1 to keep it more simple. But they want better game design, level design. So you slide level design this way to make it more. And if it said it... So yeah, if it says they want more level design, you slide this one up like I was just saying. And then the next complaint is that they think it's too easy. So you go down here and make it harder. Now I have -1 points. I'm going to lower something else. I used to always just do random stuff, so I'm just going to lower mission design down to 4. Alright. And now I got new features, which local high score is bad, and arcade joystick support is neutral. Alright, there we go. I'm going to make my second... Oh, I'm a dumbass. Oh, that's, game description. You can write down your, like, a really detailed description of the game if you really care about that much. I don't really do that. Portal Force, I'll call it. And you can just use random name right here to just think of something random. Do a random name if you don't want to name anything. It'll do like a parody of a real life game. Alright, 40 to 60. So let the bugs be taken care of. Alright, let me go see on designers. Okay, 2 new people. So I'm going to hire them. Oh yeah! I mentioned earlier too, I'm going to go show you all in a moment, because it just started doing it now. Oh yeah, another thing too. Every July in the middle of the year, you'll get the Mad Games Convention, which is the E3 of the game. And you can pay money to set up a booth, which will help promote your games. I always do the most depending on how many games I have. So right now I'm making 3 games. I have 3 games available. So I'm going to do the large booth. And I can pick any of the games I want. since I have 2 out and 1 in development, I'm going to do all of them. And then afterwards, if I have multiple games out, I do the ones that are more racing, that way they get more hype. And this way you can do a console, which I can't do right now. And I've gained 1,600 fans from doing the convention. Happens once a year. And also, remember I said earlier in the video about during the summer the games won't sell as well? Okay, it's 30%. I thought it was 50% before. But yeah, during the summer of June and July, video games and consoles sell 30% less. So you notice like this little dip right here for Food Fight add-on. But Food Fight was already going out, so it didn't matter. And so far I made almost $30,000 from Food Fight, and the add-on made almost $50,000. Yeah, Food Fight's about to go off in a moment. But we're going to have Portal Force ready to go in just a moment. Alright, there we go. 40 to 60. Still not very good. And like I said, Data West and Hudson are new ones. And they both for the same thing, 3 stars and 11 copies. At that point, it's just, what do you feel like doing? Or just random. And 58%, which is the best so far, but still not really good either. So like I said, update. And then add-on. Alright, so now Food Fight's off the market. When the game sells bad, it'll tell you how it did. So I made $31,000 overall from Food Fight, sold 8,200 copies. And since it was exclusive, I was able to sell 330 Tapple 1s and all that. Because it was exclusive. And how about that? Portal Force already made 1,000 copies. It already did 1/8 the strength of Food Fight. So already up to a very good start. And also, I'm going to go research the last 2 genres now. Alright, and I'm going to probably wrap it up soon, because this is going to be a long tutorial series most likely. I'm going to go do food. I'm going to do my skill game now, because I have no other option. Like I said, I like to have free games out. We're going to do Special Forces. I'll just keep it at all. See, nope, nothing new yet. And of course, I know this off the top of my head. Skill is 40, 10, 10, 40. Those are the correct sliders in that regard. But the rest of this, I don't know. Now, like, see right here. You see green. This is why I'm saying skill is very OP at the start, because it has really good compatibility of all the features. So when a pinch, try to get skill as quickly as possible, because it's really just OP. I think it's kind of dumb. I wish they made a random thing where they can get rid of that and make skill maybe not be as OP at the start, but unfortunately it's not the case. So see, since Portal Force was already a better game, look at that. See what I mean? Skill already off the bat, 50 to 70, which is really good. The goal of the game is you want to get 70% as quickly as possible. You unlock sequels, and then you want to get to 80% as very quickly as possible. Then you want to get to like 90s consistently. By the 80s, you want to start getting 80s all the time at the minimum. And by the 90s, you want to get 90 plus all the time. Or else your games won't do so well. So right now, 50 to 70. So we're going to publish it. Alright, I gain a studio rating, so that's W. And look at that. I almost maxed out. 69%. OP Force just killed it. So it's going to really do well. If I had 1 more percent, I could start making sequels, but I fell just short. Alright, but see, so far, I already made Portal Force already my highest selling game ever, 10,000 copies, and it's already made me a bunch of money. So, yay. I'm actually going to get motorcycles now for the hell of it, since the, oh, spelling it wrong. Since motorcycles is the big thing for, at the moment with racing, so do that. Let's update. No, actually, no, don't bother updating you. You're going to be gone in a moment. And there's one more thing I need to explain to begin the game too, but it's going to have to wait till December. Alright, there goes Food Fight. Alright, now that I got all those topics, I'm just going to go make just a random game right now. Because like I said, I like to have free games out. Alright, now you see skill is maxed out in red. that means market saturates. That means the games won't sell as well. So try to avoid it as much as possible, especially when you're on higher competition difficulty. That means it's going to be very difficult. Bike Gang. So now I can do two consoles since I did so well recently. And I'm going to go do that. I'm no longer going to do exclusive because I'm making a bunch of money right now, so I'm good. Now, the more consoles, it's a double-edged sword with if you do like 4 consoles, because you can do that later on. On the one hand, your games will sell more because you're on a whole bunch of consoles. However, you're going to have to pay more to develop on those consoles. So you'll be selling a lot more copies, but you'll also have to pay a lot more money. So it really comes down to what do you value more. And on the higher difficulty, which I was doing, having exclusive actually was more important. So keep that in mind. And for race, I know off the top of my head, racing sliders for here are 10, 40, 30, 20. Those are the correct slides. And like you saw, all the stuff was neutral. Skill is the best. Puzzle's neutral. Racing's bad. Adventure's the worst. That's how it usually goes. Alright, Bike Gang. 40, 60 right off the bat. But I'm going to keep developing and try and get rid of the bugs. Always get rid of the bugs if you can. And I'm going to go get the cheapest thing subtopic right now. I'm going to play at least to the end of the year. Because there's one more thing I really need to explain. Yep. So this is going to have to be a multi-part tutorial series. Because this is a lot of info I'm going to have to explain. And the game takes a long time to do. Okay, I unlock spin-offs. Alright, 50 to 70. That's pretty good for a racing to start off with. My first one. Alright, here we go. Alright, 65%. Let's go. That's usually a lot better than most racing games I start off with making. See, it already sold 4,000 copies. I already made $5,000. Oh yeah, like here's another thing too. Like, look at Bike Gang compared to OP Force. Remember, guys, OP Force had 69%, which is the best I've done so far in this series. 69% score. Bike Gang got a 65%. So these are my 2 best games. But Bike Gang already sold more than OP Force, even though it did worse in the scores and all that. The reason why it's selling better is because, one, it's the main thing right now. It's the best thing, so that gives it a little bit of a boost. But more importantly, it's not saturated. There's a big demand for racing games, but there was none in the market. So I'm meeting that demand. Whereas OP Force, as a skill game, it's saturated. No one wants to play skill games at the moment, so that's why it's selling so bad. That's, like I said, oversaturation is, like, the biggest thing, first off, is points. That's the first thing you want to focus on, points. Get as many points as possible. Second thing is probably going to be saturation. The more saturated it is, the less like it's going to sell. Always keep that in mind. That's why try to avoid at all cost, if you can, this red thing. Always try to get the green if you can, because that's better. So yeah, you're seeing it in action right now. Bike Gang doing so well compared to OP Force. Alright, did I do an update? Okay, I did. Alright, we're almost near the end of the year, and I can finally do like the final thing I need to mention. I did the wrong button. There's a lot of stuff I need to explain still. Yeah, Bike Gang is just killing it. Look, I've already made $200,000 from Bike Gang already. I'm making so much money. Alright, here we go. The final thing I need to explain. At the end of the year, every year is the Mad Game Awards. And they'll give rewards out. Best graphics, best soundtrack, developer of the year, publisher of the year, game of the year, worst game of the year. These first awards go to the game with the best soundtrack and the best graphics. This goes to whoever the best developer of the year was. And this goes to the best publisher of the year, which I think might be the same thing as how it goes with the developer who publishes the best games and all that, but I'm not fully sure about that one. Game of the year, this one goes usually to the highest score, I think. So if you get a really high score, you have a good chance to get this. And worst game of the year, that's if the game had the worst score ever. You do not want to get that one, because if you get that, you're gonna suffer terrible fan loss. But if you get rewards and everything else, you'll get a big bunch of fans and all that. So that's really good. Okay, yeah, it tells you and all that. Alright. So, that's pretty much the basics of the first tutorial. Let me just wrap up some stuff right here. Because I already have free games out, so I don't need to do anything. But yeah, look how well Bike Gang's doing compared to OP Force, despite the fact that it's worse objectively in terms of the reviews. 65% to 69%. And it's just killing it. Like, look at that. I've made over $700,000 already. I already have $1 million. I'm cooking it. Alright. But anyways, as long as you don't have this feature, this turn off right here, this is your financial report. This will help tell you how well you're doing financially at the end of the year. And I made $450,000 at the end of it. So, W. Alright, guys. So, that's going to wrap it up here. I hope I explained the very basics of this tutorial so far. And hope to get you into Mad Games Tycoon 2, because this game is awesome. But I got a lot more stuff to explain, and I'm going to have to continue doing this series coming up and explain more stuff about the game. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. See you all next time, and I need to go to bed.